Hi, this is Tracy HD, and I want to thank you for joining me for another daily energy and guidance reading. And we are using the Work Your Light Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell. And as you can see, the cards are laid out. I started recording this video and my camera just cut out right in the middle of the first card. And I didn't want to pick other cards because I believe these are the ones that are meant for us today. As you know, we're still in Mercury retrograde, and so far so good. If this is the only mishap, I'm very fortunate. So let's continue with the reading. And the first card is Lemuria. And as you can see, it's a beautiful, beautiful paradise. It's literally a heaven on earth. And it says, creating heaven on earth is happening. And yes, it is. And we all have a part in it. And it reads, Lemuria or Mu is one of the earth's lost lands where heaven really was a place on earth, a time before we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. In Lemuria, life worked in harmony, all beings were seen as equal, and we were deeply reverent to Mother Earth. We knew that a mosquito was no worse than us and the sun no better. Perhaps you too believe that heaven really can be a place on earth. Perhaps you're a part of the transition team who at soul level are devoted to creating this kind of harmony on the planet now. Thank you for wanting to do this work. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the state of affairs on the planet right now, but you're being encouraged to keep holding the clear vision of the future. It's closer than you think. You may be guided to hold the frequency of Lemuria in your own community, family, workplace, or within yourself. Know that it's possible, and while at times it may feel like you are alone, you are truly not. There are hundreds of thousands who hold the codes of this ancient lost land, and even Lemuria crystals that hold the codes of remembering that are beginning to rise all over the planet. Keep doing what you're doing, and remember, the only way to heal the world around you is to first heal yourselves. And yes, you can create your own quiet space. And I love the way the morning sun is shining on these cards to charge them and energize them. And yes, if you can find a place in your home, maybe a specific room where if you're a card reader or you have a quiet space to yourself, dedicate that to your own little heaven on earth, a place that you could retreat to get away from all of the hustle and bustle of everyday life. I have a spiritual room here at my home that I've dedicated to my cards and my crystals and my books, and the window looking out over the mountains and all of the trees and pines that surround my home. If you watch my astrology tarot monthly readings, you'll be able to see that window, and that's the room that is so, so peaceful. I made it a priority that my home be as peaceful and quiet as possible. And I believe I've achieved that. And it is so important to have somewhere that's peaceful that you could escape the cold, harsh world from. So if you can have a room in your home, or if not that, even within yourself, if you can do things to create that peace and tranquility within yourself, like maybe taking a sea salt bath, maybe doing breathing exercises, to catch yourself during the day, to ground yourself, maybe go on a nature walk if you can every now and then. Do some yoga, do some meditation. Whatever your heaven on earth is, you can start with yourself and then, of course, work outward, because if you need to, of course, be at peace with yourself before you could, give that peace to other people. So that's something to look at, that, maybe you could carve out some 5 minutes of peace for yourself every day and then work that up to a larger amount of time. And then, of course, look into what you can do to share with this transition on the planet of us making this a better world, a heaven on earth. And then we have card 2, Leap. And this reminds me of the Fool card in Tarot. And we have this beautiful woman, and she's leaping from this mountainside. And we have the full moon. And how interesting is that? We have the full moon, I believe it's on March the 9th. So, like within less than a week, we're going to have our full moon. And it says, you go first, the universe will catch you. So, what is it that you want to take a chance on? Okay, what is it that you're scared to do for fear you're going to fail? You don't have to worry about failing, because it's never a failure. If things don't work out, you at least learn something from it. And those lessons and knowledge that you take was well worth the chance. So you never lose when you take a leap of faith, as far as I'm concerned. It says life bends for the courageous. The universe wants to support you, but first you need to leap, to throw your life up in the air. Perhaps you know what you're being called to leap towards or away from, but are scared to make the move. Or maybe perhaps you're waiting for a big fat sign or instruction manual or permission to do so first. If this is you, then this card is your sign and permission. Slip to take a deep breath and leap into the unknown. It's scary to let go of all that we know and hope for something new, and it's normal to feel anxious at the thought of letting go of what we know for sure. But this is the unavoidable process of rising, and right now, this is how you are being called to live. Nature is constantly showing us how to live with courage. Fall comes every year and encourages the trees to loosen their grip, to allow what once was full of life to fall away, leaf by leaf. For a moment, it feels like nothing will grow again. The branches are left bare without the comfort of what once was. But in the morn of spring, new shoots begin to appear, and something new is born that is even more glorious than before. And what a gorgeous message. And in the Northern Hemisphere here, we are going to be going into spring. And yes, it is winter. And yes, all of the trees are bare. Everything is dead and just bleak. And it's hard to believe that life is going to be breathed in to everything here, and that once again we're going to have that lush greenery surrounding us. But sometimes we have to let go, like the leaves of a tree in the fall. What was comfortable and part of our life, maybe for a long time, maybe just for a season, needs to be let go so we could bloom into something new. And it's just amazing how everything eventually comes back to life. But if these trees held their leaves forever, they wouldn't be able to produce new growth. And just like us, if we hold on to things, especially those things that are toxic and not for our highest good, we're not going to grow. Okay? So we need to release what's dead in our life. Okay? We need to take that leap of faith. And that's what I did when I left that horrible job. I was scared. I have a mortgage to pay. I had a vehicle payment to pay. I was by myself. I didn't have anybody supporting me. It was just me. And when I took that leap of faith, it was the scariest thing. And I let it go. I let that job go because it was either that or my health. And I knew once my health was gone, you cannot buy that back. And it's amazing that, when you allow yourself to take these chances and to feel the fear anyway, it's kind of like ripping off a Band-Aid. You got to rip it off real quick. Okay. And once you do that, the pain is here and gone, and you're starting your healing. And as I'm reading this card, I'm looking out the window here and I see this eagle soaring through the sky. His wings are spread open. He's just floating around, and the sky is so blue. And it's a sign. It's a sign. We have signs everywhere that you're all going to soar. You're all going to take this leap of faith, and you're going to fly like this bird outside. Wow, that's an amazing synchronicity that I'm watching right now. I wish I could switch the camera up, but he's gone. But that's a sign that if you would just leap like this woman, you're going to be able to soar like that eagle. And just take the chance. The universe will catch you. The universe has our backs. They always do. And then the last card is Mintakan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It says longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. And again, we have this beautiful blue turquoise type of oasis. These cards are just so breathtaking. The blue and turquoise are my favorite colors for the summertime. And this card is just so peaceful. And it says, Mintakans are a soul group who originated on the planet in the constellation Orion. They were the first star beings to travel to Earth and believed to be the original light workers. The Mintakans' home planet is thought to have been a water world with water too pure that you could see through it for miles. For this reason, Mintakans feel most at peace and at home when they are around crystal clear water. They are here to teach us to see the potential in everything in the light and all beings. Many Minticans have an odd longing for home and struggle with the feeling like they don't belong. It is a thought that is due to our home planet no longer being in existence. If you pull this card, it could mean that you are a Mintican or are longing for a sense of belonging, and root chakra healing is necessary for you to feel secure and safe. Perhaps you feel this longing to find home without knowing where that is. Perhaps you've been moving around a lot and yearn for a place on earth to call your own. If so, you're being called to connect with Mother Earth and create it for yourself now. To choose where you feel most at home and create it rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. And yes, we find ourselves in a lot of situations, maybe in a circle of friends where you feel like you don't belong anymore. Maybe your interests are so different now that you're opening up and you're experiencing new things, and they're maybe just set in their old ways, and they're, just going through the motions of everyday life, and you're spiritually evolving. We'll have that situation. Maybe you feel like you don't belong in your family anymore, that you feel this disconnect, and that, you're realizing the toxic, dysfunctional cycles that are taking place just can't be anymore in your life. You're doing the work on yourself, and you're trying to make a peaceful, beautiful life, and there's just some negative, toxic people that need to go. Just like I sat at my desk every day and said, I don't belong here. I just don't belong here. It's a soul crusher. It's sucking the life out of me. When I leave this office every day, I feel like I was hit by a bus. I was exhausted, worn out. It felt meaningless to be around these people. I loved my job, but I just couldn't take the nonsense that was going on around me. No, nobody was awake. They were all still asleep. They were all very egotistical. They were backbiting, competitive, gossipy. I mean, I don't want to go on anymore about it because that's in the past. But what I'm saying is, if you feel like you don't belong somewhere and you're longing to belong, and you might not know where that is right now, but watch for the signs and synchronicities. Make the changes in your life where you're going to be where you know you belong, whether that's leaving a job, a friendship, maybe stepping back from a family that just isn't supporting you or you can't be yourself around. What a beautiful reading today. If you've enjoyed this reading, please like it by giving it a thumbs up, share it above all, and subscribe because I will be back with more.